This morning, facing mounting legal challenges to his plan to deploy troops in cities across the nation, President Trump now saying he's considering invoking emergency powers to bypass the courts.
Well, I'd do it if it was necessary. So far, it hasn't been necessary, but we have an Insurrection Act for a reason. If I had to enact it, I'd do that. If people were being killed and courts were holding us up, or governors or mayors were holding us up, sure, I'd do that.
President Trump threatening to use the Insurrection Act, which allows the president to send the military into states to quell public unrest or support law enforcement. Generally, the use of federal troops on U.S. soil is prohibited, but the president can invoke the 218-year-old law if requested by governors or if he determines that there is an insurrection. It has not been invoked since the L.A. riots in 1992 when it was requested by the governor. It comes as Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker fights President Trump's deployment in court, calling it an unconstitutional invasion of Illinois.
Donald Trump is using our service members as political props and as pawns in his illegal effort to militarize our nation's cities.
Federal judge appointed by President Joe Biden temporarily siding with the administration, declining to block the National Guard's deployment to Illinois for now. That judge calling the deployment problematic and writing, "If I was the government, I would strongly consider taking a pause on this." But President Trump insists that troops are needed in several cities, notably ones run by Democrats. The president planning to put them in Chicago, Memphis, and Portland, Oregon, where 200 soldiers from California arrived over the weekend. They're a separate federal judge, this time appointed by President Trump himself, blocking the troops' deployment, saying the president's assessment of Portland is, quote, simply untethered to the facts. President Trump has claimed Portland is burning. Now he's focusing on a group of protesters that have camped outside an ICE facility, painting a picture of insurrectionists wreaking havoc on the city. But Portland officials insist the reality is much different. The police chief Bob Day telling our Trevor Ault the protests are confined to just a sliver of the city.
It is a city block in a beautiful city that's 145 square miles, so it is fairly contained, but there are some challenges mitigating it down there.
But it is basically contained in a single city block?
Yes, it's just one city block.
So troops in Chicago could be deployed as soon as today, but there's another hearing scheduled for Thursday, and the governor of Illinois says he will continue to challenge this in court, Michael.
Yeah, he's lived up to that. All right, Rachel, thank you so much.